Namaste children. Welcome back to another session of our block 5 chapter that is about classifying animals. So in our earlier chapters we started classifying all the living organisms into some different groups. Then we came to know flowering and non-flowering plants, and block 5.3 we came to know that animals which are uh, of different types. One that is having backbones in them. Such animals we said them as vertebrate animals, and another which don't have backbone in them, that is the animals without backbone, we said them as invertebrate animals. Okay, so in our earlier class 5.3 we classified the animals into two different groups. One is vertebrate animals which clearly have a backbone in their body, and the second one is invertebrate animals which do not have any backbone in their body. Okay, so today's in our class we are going to learn about different types that are present in the vertebrate animals. Different types that are present in the vertebrate animals. So let us start our class, children. So today's our class main aim is identifying or knowing about different animals which are having different shape, size, color and body parts, and classifying those vertebrate animals into various groups. Okay, so based on the color, shape, size and bodily features, now in our today's class we are going to divide the vertebrate animals into some different groups. Okay, so in our today's class we are going to learn about few keywords, like the first keyword, that is trunk. So trunk means the main part of the body, the main part of the animal body, that is called trunk.
Trunk. The main part of a human or animal body.
Okay, now the second one is vertebrates. You already know what are vertebrates: animals with backbones.
Vertebrates. Animals with backbones.
Now the third keyword that we will come across in our today's class, that is internal skeleton. This already you know. If the bones are located inside the body, then we are calling it as a internal skeleton.
Internal skeleton. Structure of bones located inside the body.
Okay, so before starting our class, let us do a small activity, children. Observe the given Observe the given picture carefully, and try to collect five such different animals by labeling the body parts, or else you collect the pictures and stick the pictures in your classwork white paper side and label the parts. Very easy. You can get all these pictures anywhere. It's not parrot means only parrot. You can collect any other bird. You can collect any other mammal. Okay. So collect any 5 pictures of these animals and paste those pictures in the white paper side of your classwork and start labeling them. So now observe this picture carefully, children. So in this picture we will find few things. The first and foremost thing that we will find is, in all the animals, as a common feature you will find head. See here, in fishes you have a head, lizard you have a head, in a parrot you have a head, even in a frog you have a head, even in a dog also you have a head. So the common features that we are finding here is head. And one more common feature we will find in all these animals, that is they have internal skeleton in their body. Their skeleton is present inside the body. Okay. Okay, and now one more feature that is common in all the animals body, that is presence of trunk. Here also you will get the trunk. Here also trunk is there. Here also trunk is there. So trunk is the another common feature that you will another common feature that you will find in the living organism's body. Okay, so now another common feature, that is your presence of tail. Other than your frog, because frog in its early stages of its life cycle it have a tail, later it is reduced, but other than the tail in frogs, remaining all other animals, they are having tail in them. So these are some of the common features: presence of head, trunk, tail, and they have a body covering also, and internal skeleton is also present. So these are some of the common features that we will find in these animals. So when we are seeing the common features or similarities, now let us write the differences also. So when you will observe these fishes, they have scales as their body covering. Yes, whereas in your frog, if you will see, they have a moist skin as a body covering. And one more difference that you will find here from a fish to frog, that is, fishes have fins. Fishes have fins that is helpful for its swimming purpose. Whereas in case of frog, if you will see, it don't have any fins. It is having legs. With the help of legs, it will try to swim when it is present in water, and it can walk or jump when it is on the land. Okay, so now the third one, if you will see, in lizard also have a skin on its body. Okay, and it too also using its legs for the movement purpose. So whereas when it comes to your birds they are having now feathers as the body coverings, and they too have a legs, but they are using their wings to fly. Whereas in your frog case, if you will see, they are having a skin with a fur on it. They too are using the legs for the movement purpose. So the differences that we mainly find here are presence of scales in fishes, presence of a moist skin in your frog, a skin in the lizard, presence of feathers as the body covering, and presence of a skin with a fur on the body in case of your dog. So all these animals, they are showing some similar characters and even having differences from each other. So based on this picture, now we can identify that all the vertebrate animals are also can be classified. So after observing this picture clearly, children, now draw a tabular column in your draw a tabular column in your classworks like this on the white paper side immediately below the picture, and start completing this particular tabular column. Is the body is divided into 3 regions in fish? Yes, it is divided. What is the body covered with? So in case of your fish, the body it is covered with scales. How do they move? They will swim with the help of fins and tail. Whereas when you will see the frog, the body even covered with 3 regions. So what is the body covering here? The body covering is moist skin. How do they move? With the help of their legs they will move. Whereas a lizard, it too have a 3 body parts in it. Okay. So here, in case of your frog, if you will see, it don't have any 3 body parts. It don't have a tail now. So here only in case of a frog you have to write no. So in case of lizard, the body covering is skin. How they will move? They will stick to the wall and they will walk on the wall. Okay. So now the third one is parrot. Parrot too have a 3 body parts on it. What is the body covering here? Here the body coverings are your feathers, feathery wings. How do they move? They will fly. With the help of wings, they will fly. Now comes to dog. Dog is also having three body parts. It is having a skin with fur on it. And how it will move? It will walk. Your particular dog, it will walk. Okay, so complete the given table also, children. So now after completing this table, now let's have a small look on the video.
Animals that have backbones are called vertebrates. Vertebrates are classified into mammals, birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles. The bodies of most vertebrates are divided into three main regions. They have different body coverings and different body parts for movement.
Okay, children, after watching the video, now let's start our analysis of that activity. So what features do the animals in the picture? Already you had seen 5 animals, now they have common. So the first and foremost thing that they have common is they have a backbone in their body. That is the common feature. And they have a body covering also. This is one more common feature that we will notice in these 5 animals. That is presence of a backbone and a body covering. See here. Yes, one more thing that we will observe, that is they even have an internal skeleton. Their skeleton, it is present inside the body. Other than the frog, if you will see, one more common feature that we will find, that is animal's body, it is divided into mainly 3 parts. That is head, trunk and a tail. Okay. Yes. So now let us see this question. If the animals represent different subgroups of vertebrates, what features do the subgroups have in common? So now based on the features, now all the vertebrates even can be classified into some different subgroups. So now in all those subgroups, what are the common features? Means the common features is your presence of backbone, presence of a body covering, and most of the animals, they are having 3 parts in their body, that is head, trunk and a tail. These are the common features that we will see. So now based on these common features and the differences, we can divide the animals. Based on the common features, children, we can divide all the vertebrates into 5 different groups. One is your mammals, second one is your birds, fishes, amphibians and reptiles. Fishes are those animals which are having a scales on their body as an external covering, and they will present always in the water. Whereas the next group, if you will see, the next group, that is your amphibians, where the animals are covered with a moist skin as an outer covering, and these animals, they can live both in water and on land. Any animal which can live both in water and on land, that are called your amphibian animals. Now whereas when it comes to your reptiles, their body, it is covered with a normal skin, and they have a sticky pads. With the help of those sticky pads, they can stick to the walls, they can stick to the stems or any other places. So now the fourth group that we can see in the vertebrate animals, that is birds. So birds are the animals which can able to fly because they have a hollow skin in their body. They have a hollow bones in their body, and they are having feathers for the flying purpose. Whereas when it comes to your mammals, mammals are the animals which are giving birth to the young ones and feeding their young ones. Okay, so these are the 5 different subgroups that we can see in the vertebrate animals. So in these 5 subgroups, if you will see the common things, the common thing in fishes, amphibians and reptiles, that is, these are your cold-blooded animals. These 3 we are calling them as a cold-blooded animals. So these cold-blooded animals, they can change their body temperature according to the external or outside atmospheric temperature. Whereas when you will see these mammals and birds, these 2, they are called as warm-blooded animals. So these warm-blooded animals, they cannot change their body temperature according to the outside. So remember, fishes, amphibians and reptiles, these 3 we are saying them as a cold-blooded animals. They can change their body temperature according to the atmospheric temperature. Whereas your mammals and birds, they are warm-blooded animals. They cannot and they cannot. Okay. Yes. So now let us complete our worksheet now. Now let us even start this question. Which group is the most common and advanced among the vertebrates? So out of the 5 different groups, here we had seen, out of these 5 different groups, which group is the most common one? The most advanced group, that is your mammals. Because mammals group is a group because they have a specialized teeth. Okay, their body, it is protected with a skin having a fur on it. And one more important feature, that is mammals have a well developed organ system. So in well developed organ system, if you will see the main body parts, that is your presence of brain and heart, that too they are also well developed. So due to these features, developed organ systems, well developed brain and heart, these are some of the features that are making mammals as the advanced animals comparatively to others. Okay children, so now let's complete our worksheet, page number 25. So in the worksheet, page number 25, if you will see, circle the animals that have tail and trunk. So before the earlier pictures you had seen, so based on that, can you please circle the animals which have a tail and trunk? Only one I am doing for you, that is your fish. Fish have a clear tail and trunk. The rest of 4 animals you find out and think whether they have a head, tail and trunk in their body or not. So now if you will see the second question is, look at the internal skeleton of fish and dog. Observe these 2 internal skeletons of your fish and dog. Based on that, the first question is, why are these animals considered as vertebrates? Why these animals are considered as vertebrates? See here I am drawing. Very good, because of the presence of a backbone. These animals are considered as a vertebrate animals. So now the second one, that if you will see, write 2 features that they have in common and 1 feature that is different. So the features that are common is presence of backbone and presence of a body coverings. Okay, and the different feature, that is your fishes, they are having scales as an outer covering, and your dog, it is having a skin with fur as an outer covering. So body coverings, that is one more different feature, even though that is commonly present in them. The organs are different there. And one difference is, your fish, it is a cold-blooded animal. Cold-blooded animal. Whereas your dog, it is a warm-blooded animal. Okay. So now the third question, if you will see, which animal is more developed, a horse or an earthworm? Give one reason for your answer. So definitely horse is the most developed animal because of the presence of well-developed organ systems. Because of the presence of well-developed organ systems. Okay, children. So elaborate your answers and complete in your worksheet page number 25. And now let's open the practice questions that are present in your page number 38. So if you will see the practice questions, again they were asking you that circle the names of animals with backbone. You can circle the names of animals with backbone, like one I am doing for you, that is your crocodile. The rest of animals you listen carefully and try to circle them. Okay. So now the second one, that is write two features that fish and amphibians have in common. So in common they are having a backbone. Yes. The second one is in common they have a they are cold-blooded animals, and both can live in water. Okay. So now the third question, if you will see, Anna saw a monkey hanging from a tree and walking on land. To which group of the vertebrates do the monkey belong to? The monkey belongs to a group that is called mammals. Give one reason for your answer. So because they are directly giving birth to the young ones, so they are considered as your mammals. Okay, children, complete the given worksheets, page number 25 and page number 38 practice questions, and be ready for your next class. Okay, children, thank you so much.